So good evening, everyone. My name is Katie Coulthart, and I'm the director here at Westwood Youth and Family Services. On behalf of both Youth and Family Services and the Westwood Rotary Club, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this year's Ray Award ceremony. We gathered tonight to celebrate and honor the meaningful contributions our award recipients have made to the Westwood community. Before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge Westwood Media Center, who is recording this evening's ceremony so that it can be shared with those who could not be with us tonight. Thank you, Charlotte, and the entire Westwood Media Center team. A heartfelt thank you as well to my colleagues at Westwood Youth and Family Services and to the members of the Rotary here tonight. Special thanks to Andrea Varkas, our administrative assistant, many of whom you have been in touch with over the past few weeks, as well as Laura Max and Dottie Powers, both Rotarians who make this night possible. And now I'd like to introduce Aaron Busick, President of the Rotary Club of Westwood.
Thank you, Katie. And again, I'd like to echo her sentiments. Thank you to friends, family, and especially to the nominees tonight, because without you, we wouldn't be here tonight. So thank you all, and I think give them a round of applause. We like to start these events with the same way we start some of our Rotary meetings, first with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then with a very short invocation. So if you don't mind. Don't have a flag? Okay, so we can all visualize it in our heads. We know what it looks like, and so we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And will you all please bow your heads with me? May those assembled here this evening enjoy the many offerings of Rotary. May we abide by the rules we have established, those of trust, fellowship, and ethics, and may we place service above self in our daily endeavors. And may we always test ourselves and our efforts to be sure they are the truth, good for all concerned, of benefit and mankind, and provide peace and understanding. Thank you. So this is my third, maybe my fourth year that I have the honor to stand up here tonight and recognize some of the outstanding young adults in the Westwood community. And typically I repeat some of the things I've said in the past. I don't write anything down. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. But as I was thinking about what I wanted to say, and I was reading through the agenda for tonight, some of the words in that invocation kind of jumped out to me, maybe more than they have in the past. I'm not sure. There's a lot of chaos going on these days, as there has been the last 3 or 4 times I've been up here. Unfortunately, that part hasn't changed. But I was thinking as well, a lot of people don't know what Rotary clubs are all about. 40, 50 years ago, for those of us that might remember, there was commercials on TV. They had a big effort to get rid of polio and kind of drive that. And so people at least would see it, because back then you had to watch TV and you had to watch commercials. Things didn't stream. You couldn't skip, fast forward. Like when the TV was on, you had to sit there and watch whatever was in front of you. So our mission was a little bit easier back then, in the sense that people knew what the Rotary was. Service above self. I think that's the phrase that kind of stuck out to me. And for whatever reason, it took 3 years to kind of put 2 and 2 together. That's also why we're here. Because the young adults that we are recognizing tonight did exactly that, right? They chose, you're in high school, there's a lot of competing priorities, a lot of people that want access to your time, and you have choices. And you can choose a variety of different things. And at least with some part of your time, you chose to put the needs of other people above yours, which is a pretty special thing. And again, unfortunately, I think the world would be a lot better place if more people did that. And so it really is an honor to be up here and recognize these young adults for the efforts that they've put forward and the choices that they've made to put other people above themselves. At such a young age, you know, it's pretty impressive that you've kind of already recognized the benefits that you can receive by, you know, thinking of others and not just yourself. A lot of times, you know, we see and folks are recognized for athletic achievements, and it's on TV and it's on the news. And there's a saying that the real heroes do the work not to be recognized. They do it under the cover of darkness, and they do it anyways without expecting anything in return. And I think, you know, again, you folks here tonight epitomize that. You know, you were doing the things that you did not because you wanted to get your name in the paper, not because you were looking for, you know, your 60 seconds of fame, just because you felt it was the right thing to do. And I hope that you carry that with you as you move on to the next chapters in your lives, because it doesn't get any easier. I'm sorry. Adulting is hard, but you build off of the foundation that you and your family gave yourself through those first 18 years of your life. And so I think you guys are in a phenomenal position to go forward and to carry these values with you, and keep doing what you're doing. Don't let other people bring you down or change your mind, or you're going to be faced with choices again for the rest of your life. College will have competing priorities. Adulthood, if you decide to have children, even if you don't, your job, there's always going to be no shortage of people and things pulling at your time. And if we can all just do a little bit every day to try to benefit somebody else, I think that makes the world just such an amazing place to be a part of. And like I said before, every year I get up here and I talk about how it's so nice to spend at least 1 hour of a day talking about nothing but positive things, because there is so much negativity out there. And don't let that, you know, penetrate your circle. You know, keep a positive attitude, keep trying to help others move forward. And you know what? Because that's also contagious. And so in the face of challenges and adversity, if you continue to keep a positive attitude and you continue to do the right things, people notice. And I hope that tonight is at least a small reminder that the contributions you've made to this community and the things that you've done over these past number of years, people did notice. And they took some time out of their day to make sure that you got recognized for the efforts that you were making to help others. The one thing I do say every year, and I'll say it again, apologize to those who have heard it before, but this truly is one of the best nights of our year. This, and if you combine it with the night that we get to read the nominations and vote on them, you know, that hour and a half to 2 hours is truly a special time, because, you know, we're not talking about any of the noise happening outside. We're just talking about some good young adults in our community that are doing just absolutely amazing things. And I think this year was particularly special because, you know, we got fewer nominations than we have in past years. But the nominations that we got were incredibly strong. And it was just such an honor to read through those things. And by the time we got to the end, it was just like, all right, what are we even talking about here? Like, this is a done deal. All three of these young adults are incredibly worthy of these nominations. It also speaks to the folks that nominated you, because in the past, sometimes we just get things that say, oh, you know, Sammy's a nice kid and he's pretty cool to hang out with. And it's like, yeah, we can't really do too much with that. But the folks that nominated you took the time, they put the information in there, and they wanted to really make sure that you guys were recognized for the difference that you're making in the community. And so, as I do a lot of times in my job, I am not the center of attention tonight. I am not the star speaker. I did want to make sure that I recognized everybody as best I could. And then, to me, it's my job to get out of the way so that we can all hear from the folks that are the reason that we're here tonight. So with that, I think, Katie, you're going to come up first, and then you'll bring up the nominees as you're ready. And I'll hand out the certificates and flowers.
Thank you, Aaron. It's always a tough act to follow, and I have to look at my notes because I have to remember all the great things you guys do. So tonight we are proud to honor the hard work, generosity, and dedication that Grace, Charlie, and Olivia have shown through their outstanding commitment to community service here in Westwood. And to give a bit of background, the Ray Award, or as we know it, the Recognize a Youth Award, was established in the year 2000 as a collaboration between Westwood Youth and Family Services and the Rotary Club. Our mission at Youth and Family Services is to promote the healthy development of young people and their families. The Rotary, as Aaron said, is devoted to creating lasting change both locally and globally. And this award celebrates young people who embody those values, those who serve their community in positive and impactful ways. And now I'm honored to introduce our award recipients, and I will say a few words about them, and then invite them to come forward and share a brief reflection. I went alphabetically, so Grace, you're first. So, Grace Viscaldo, a 12th grader at Westwood High School, who was nominated for this award by her school counselor, Max Earlis. And tonight we recognize a young woman whose quiet strength and deep compassion have made a lasting impression on her peers as well as the community. Grace has served faithfully as an altar server at St. Margaret Mary's Parish since elementary school and continues to volunteer through the church. She's the kind of student who shows up, not just physically, but emotionally, with warmth and heart for helping others. Her participation in our Westwood Rights program and her 4-year commitment to the Body Safety Theater program is proof of that. And whether tutoring students in the guidance office or bringing joy to younger children through recreation programs, Grace uplifts those around her. Her calm, steady reliability is rare at any age, let alone for a high school senior. As her counselor said in his nomination form, just meet her and you'll understand. Grace, thank you for leading with kindness, compassion, and quiet strength. We are proud to celebrate you tonight. Come on up. I'll take your hand. But we're going to ask Grace. Grace has chosen to answer this question. Describe one of your favorite situations when providing community service.
So my favorite situation when I've been in community service would have to be through the Westwood Rights program here at Westwood Youth and Family Services. And I was paired with a person who was a lot older than the rest of the people who were like in this program and the seniors who I did it with. And she was more quiet, more reserved. She didn't really know any of the other people, and we had this get-together, like an ice cream social, where we got to actually meet the people we've been talking with for this past year. And when I met her, she had more of like a raspy voice, and she talked about how she never got to like go out of her house, and this was kind of like the highlight of her year, and how like much joy she got when she received a letter from me, and that just like is the whole reason why I love community service. Like bringing like smiles to people's faces is just why I do it. So, yeah.
Grace. Lovely. So Charlie. Charlie is in 11th grade at Westwood High School and was nominated by his neighbor, Roseanne Farini. Charlie is a creator, a dreamer, and a doer, never afraid to be his authentic self. From performing The Sound of Silence in elementary school assemblies, to composing original music, to writing a novel, and singing with the elite Handel and Hidden Chorus. Charlie shares his talents with courage and joy. But what truly sets him apart is how he uses his gifts to uplift others. He launched a kindness sharing forum in middle school, performed concerts to raise funds for cancer research, helped neighbors with yard work, and mentored younger scouts on his path to Eagle Scout. And speaking of that, his Eagle Scout project involves creating a mobile recording studio for Westwood High's music program. He's already raised over $7,000 for that effort, all through grit and creativity. As stated in his nomination, Charlie does not stop until he achieves his goal, even at first if he doesn't succeed. Charlie, your persistence, generosity, and imagination make you an inspiration, and we're honored to recognize you tonight. Would you please come forward? So Charlie has chosen to answer the question, how do you think your participation in community service will impact you after high school and in the life ahead?
Well, I've been giving back as long as I can remember. When I was young, I was in Scouts, and I've continued to do so as I've gotten older. At the core of it, I really like the way it feels to help other people. You know, helping out my grandfather, helping out older people, helping out younger people. It just makes me feel good. And you know, when I have music, music makes other people feel good, and by sharing that, I can do that. So, being kind and helping my community is at the core of everything for me. It makes everyone happy. It makes the world a better place.
Olivia Nasser, a sixth grader at Thurston Middle School. Olivia was nominated not once, but twice by Tom Lydon and Dory Parmalee. Olivia shows us that age is no barrier to making an impact. At just 11 years old, after spending nearly 2 weeks at Boston Children's Hospital with a serious bone infection, she turned her experience into a mission to help others. Through her initiative, Livy's Little Love List, she raised more than $2,200 and collected games, toys, snacks, and other comforts for the Marcia Freed Cardiac Resource Room, bringing smiles and relief to kids facing difficult days. Olivia has inspired her classmates, her town, and everyone who hears her story. Her compassion, resilience, and leadership light the way for all of us, reminding us that even life's hardest moments can be transformed into acts of love and service. As stated in her nomination, Olivia is a driven and passionate individual who brings ambition, kindness to everything she does. Olivia, thank you for showing us what it means to lead with heart. We are so proud to honor you tonight. Would you please come up? And Olivia has chosen to answer the question, describe one of your favorite situations when providing community service.
Hi. So, one of my favorite moments when providing community service was when I was dropping off my donations at Boston Children's Hospital. I met this little girl at the resource room, and she was 8 years old, and she was visiting America from another country when she unfortunately had a heart attack and found out she needed to have a transplant. Though this was very sad and this girl was in a very tough situation, the things we brought, she got to try out for herself. And it warmed my heart when I got to see her experience them and having a great time with it. And I really hope that my benefits to the Boston Children's Hospital can help everybody every day and bring smiles to their faces. Thank you.
All. So this concludes tonight's ceremony. We ask that our award recipients please stay for a few moments together so we can take some group photos. And thank you all again for being here, and please join us for some refreshments so we can continue to celebrate these incredible young people. Thank you.